All right, guys. So I wanted to hop on here today and talk some college football because I am tired of hearing about the Luka Doncic trade to the Los Angeles Lakers and just what kind of idiotic move that was by the Dallas Mavericks to not get the proper amount of first round picks that you would get in that deal. I did say last night that Luka being traded to the Dallas Mavericks in college football terms is equivalent to Lincoln Riley getting up in the middle of the night and going to USC. And then I saw somebody on Twitter also say that's like Texas A&M trading Kyler Murray for Trevor Knight. And it's pretty much what happened. So Oklahoma hired a defensive coordinator, right? No, they hired an inside linebackers coach and an outside linebackers coach. And yeah, I think this is something we got to talk about. It's something I want to discuss with y'all, kind of talk through a couple things. So join the discussion, jump in the comments below. Let me know what you guys agree with me or not. Before we do that, as always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and hit the subscribe button. February, we got a basketball video coming up next week. So Oklahoma beat Vanderbilt. Fun. But the Oklahoma Sooners, they hired Nate Dreiling and Wes Goodwin to join the staff here at Oklahoma. And I think we all expected Wes Goodwin to be on staff at some level. I think the rumor for a while was being floated around that he would be an analyst, but he ends up coming in as the outside linebackers coach, Nate Dreiling as inside. And I think there's a couple intriguing things here. There's a couple that I don't think I've heard people talk about. The first one is, you're getting that one-on-one linebacker coaching instead of kind of grouping them all together with James Skalski. And it really makes me wonder if this is going to be the formula that Brent Venables kind of wants to roll with. So do you have two linebackers coach going here on out? Additionally, are both recruiting at the same time? Because Oklahoma fans, although we're not familiar with Nate Dreiling and what he's been able to do on the recruiting trail, I think we're all pretty familiar with what Wes Goodwin has been able to do in his short time at Clemson, being a primary or a secondary recruiter. Just to list off a few guys, not even on the linebacker position, but on the defensive line: Amari Adams, Peter Woods, Vic Burley, Stephylan Green. If you want to look at linebackers, he beat Oklahoma in the battle and Brent Venables for a 5-star linebacker in Sammy Brown. Now, again, a lot of that could have been familiarity with the program, but it was still a huge win. He helped land Jamal Anderson out at Clemson, TJ Daughtry. Both of those were highly regarded 4-star prospects. He landed the younger Woodaz brother, Khalil Barnes, at safety, who is phenomenal first year. So you look at Wes Goodwin as a recruiter, this is a huge pickup. And I would imagine Wes Goodwin is going to be given some time on the recruiting trail. And this is in a year where Oklahoma probably needs to go out there and land at least 3 guys at the linebacker spot, because you lost Danny Stutzman, you lost Lewis Carter in the transfer portal. Obviously, you lost Phil Picchiotti. Samuel Mosigo's coming in. Sounds like he might be sliding inside. Obviously, Kip Lewis has done really well, but if he has another really great season, that dude could be off to the NFL. Obviously, your time with Kobe McKenzie is going to be very short-lived here soon. So you look at, what Oklahoma needs. Recruiting at the linebacker position is going to be key. And pairing, I think, these two up together is not something people have really talked about. One, because of how good Wes Goodwin is. But two, Nate Dreiling is young. Nate Dreiling can relate to these recruits. And just as we have found out with Ben Arbuckle, as he has came on staff as the offensive coordinator, recruits really relate to him. Recruits really like him. There is something to be said about these younger guys and being able to make those connections. Now, the question is, though, about Brent Venables and calling the defense. And Brent Venables kind of talked about that a little bit. And I'm going to read you guys the quotes. Josh Calloway over at Sooners Illustrated on 247 was able to put those out. So go over there and check those. But Brent Venables said, I have reflected on all facets of our program over the past several weeks, said Venables. Since I was hired as the head coach, we have carefully assembled the defensive personnel and scheme that is suited to compete at the highest level, and we've built a deep and talented roster ready for the moment. I have high expectations for our program and will do everything in my power to achieve our goals for our players. To that end, I will take over defensive play calling responsibilities for the 25 season. Now, this is intriguing here because I think a lot of fans want Brent Venables to be that CEO level coach. They want Brent Venables to focus on the those important aspects of the game like clock management, substitutions, the analytics part, which the Notre Dame head coach, Marcus Freeman, did a really good job with this year. Had somebody literally follow him around with an iPad that he could just reference to. And maybe that's something that Brent Venables needs to do with a Wes Goodwin, who has experience helping out head coaches with game management and things like that. But also, is this the return of a get back coach for Brent Venables? Because when you watch Brent Venables throughout his time as a defensive coordinator, whether that was at Oklahoma or Clemson, he gets really into it. And so I would expect to see Brent Venables back on the sidelines, stepping onto the field, hollering at those players, getting really energetic. And I also think this is a piece that has really been missing from the Oklahoma defense since Brent Venables has got back. Brent Venables, with that energy he had on the sideline, I really feel like his defenses feed off that energy and feed off him. And so I felt like with Brent Venables not bringing that same energy on the sideline that he's brought for so many years, kind of made sometimes the defense just feel blah. Now, the real question is, though, obviously Brent Venables is not going to call this defense forever. And although he's going to call it this season, does he give Nate Dreiling or Wes Goodwin opportunities, maybe in garbage time or games that you flat out should win, like Southern Illinois State or Idaho State, whoever we're playing this year? Does he give them opportunities to call the defenses in those games to see what he's working with? Are they somebody that he can potentially prospect after the season to be the defensive coordinator and play caller for the University of Oklahoma? That is what I think is important. Not to mention, if you do elevate one of these guys or one of them leaves you, because that's always a possibility as well, who do you replace them with? And I think this is a good opportunity for James Skalski to be another year in the coaching ranks before he becomes an on-field coach for Oklahoma. Who knows? Maybe if this is a system that Brent Venables wants to go with middle and out or inside and outside linebacker coaches, maybe James Skalski has an opportunity here in the next year or two to step up and be a linebackers coach. But I want to hear from y'all because some of these comments that Brent Venables made, it definitely confirms what we were thinking, and it's intriguing. So I want to hear from y'all. Join the discussion. Jump in the comments below. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and you hit that subscribe button.